The resolution passes. Takes us to Parks Committee. Resolution authorizing motorized recreation grant application to fund Jefferson County Snowmobile Trail Aid Program. I assume this is to buy snow?
You got it, boss. Mr. Chairman, I have resolution number 2024-88. Jefferson County participates in the Wisconsin Department of Natural Resources Snowmobile Trail Aid Program, funded by a Wisconsin Department of Natural Resources motorized recreation grant, which provides funding for the development and maintenance of approximately 229.4 miles of public snowmobile trails in Jefferson County. Applying for these grant funds requires county board authorization. This resolution authorizes the Jefferson County to submit a Wisconsin Department of Natural Resources motorized recreation grant application seeking funds for the snowmobile trail maintenance and development, and to administer the funds according to the grant requirements. The Parks Committee considered this resolution at its January 30, 2025 meeting and recommended forwarding to the county board for approval. We have a fiscal note, and that says the Snowmobile Trail Aid Program is expected to cost approximately $68,820 for winter 2025-2026. 100% of this cost is funded by the grant, and the anticipated grant funds have been included in the adopted budget for 2025. This resolution authorizes the Jefferson County Finance Director to make any necessary budget adjustments for additional miles. Mr. Chairman, I move for adoption of this resolution.
Moved by Supervisor Christensen, second by Supervisor Treville Heights. Discussion? Questions? Supervisor Jacob?
Yes, I just don't see Kevin here tonight, so I don't know if it can be answered by the committee, but is there any use for the funds otherwise when we have a winter like this winter and the past few where there's been minimal to no snow?
I'm not a snowmobiler, but I will say I don't know that there's any alternative use or opportunity to use these because a lot of money is spent prior to the actual expected snow. Maybe some of it could be used for prayers or something like that. That would help, but not that I know of. And
Thank you.
But we can find out for you.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? The resolution passes. Are we everything operating properly? Okay, otherwise I was going to take a break till we got this operating here. Okay. All right, that takes us to item 14, Planning and Zoning Committee. Supervisor Jacob.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Report to the honorable members of Jefferson County Board of Supervisors. Jefferson County Planning and Zoning Committee, having considered petitions to amend the official zoning map of Jefferson County, filed for public hearing held on February 17, 2022 and January 16, 2024, as required by law pursuant to Wisconsin statutes. Notice thereof having been given and being duly advised of the wishes of the town boards and the persons in the areas affected, hereby recommends the approval of the following petitions, which committee finds meets the standards for rezoning set forth in Jefferson County's ordinance 1111 parent E and state statute 9148 of the Wisconsin statutes where applicable. Approval of petitions as listed, dated this 27th day of January 2025, Blaine Paulson, Secretary. And with that, I move on to ordinance number 2024-20, whereas Jefferson County Board of Supervisors heretofore been petitioned to amend the official zoning map of Jefferson County, and whereas petitions as listed were referred to Jefferson County Planning and Zoning Committee for public hearing held on February 17, 2022 and January 16, 2025. And whereas the proposed amendments have been given due consideration by the Board of Supervisors in open session. And whereas to petition 4379A22, the Jefferson County Board of Supervisors concurs with the analysis set forth in the attached staff report and decision of the County Planning and Zoning Committee and adopts the findings set forth therein as findings of the county board. And whereas consistent with the recommendations of the Planning and Zoning Committee, the Board of Supervisors finds where applicable the standards set forth in statutes 9148 of Wisconsin statutes for rezoning out of an A1 exclusive agricultural zone are met by the proposed rezones. Now therefore be it ordained, Jefferson County Board of Supervisors does amend the official zoning map of Jefferson County as followed, as listed. Fiscal note, this ordinance has no determinable fiscal impact, and for the staff report and decision of the zoning committee follows on page 22, 23, 24, and I think part of 25, if I remember seeing it right here. Mr. Chairman, I move for adoption of this ordinance.
Moved by Mr. Jekyll, second by Mr. Paulson. Questions, discussions? Mr. Kennard.
I will abstain for a potential conflict of interest.
Thank you. Duly noted. Mr. Gulick.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'd move to either request or move that we separate out the question relative to the parcel on County Road B in the town of Concord from the other decisions that we're making here.
Move is made by Mr. Gulick. Do I have a second?
I have a second.
Second by Mr. Gross. Any discussion? Does this have to be a two-thirds vote? Simple voice vote. All in favor? Mr. Christensen, you had something you want to add?
Yes, I do, Mr. Chairman. I was waiting for somebody else to begin the discussion. However, I move to postpone this decision and send.
Wait. We have a motion on the floor already.
We do?
Yes. We have a
was that
motion on the
for the
floor that hasn't been
separation?
voted on to separate it.
Oh, my bad. Sorry.
All in favor to separate it, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Aye. The ayes have it, so it is separated. Okay, Mr. Christensen, you want to add something?
Yeah, I'll go first, I guess. I originally opposed this a petition for a rezone some years ago, and I haven't really changed my mind. So I moved to postpone this decision and send the question back to the zoning committee for their consideration after the Concord Town Board meets on this question in April 2025 or the earliest opportunity thereafter.
Is there a second to that?
Second.
Discussion. Mr. Paulson.
Could we hear from the Corporation Counsel what she feels?
As I indicated in the email that was sent to all of County Board Supervisors last evening, procedurally where this case is at this point, the Court of Appeals sent the matter back to proceed specifically where we had made an error in the court's opinion, and that was at the Planning and Zoning Committee decision meeting. This county board previously referred the matter back to the Planning and Zoning Committee to make the appropriate findings. That's what's happened. That's how you have it back before you today.
So essentially, in that case, the findings have been made. They're in your packet. Further discussion? Seeing none? Or Mr. Jekyll?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. Just, as zoning committee chairman, this has been discussed. We've talked with Corporation Counsel, previous and our current one, and said, we've done things. Yes, we, missed a question or something on the original decision, so we had to re-go through it, and we've done that. And the appeals court has basically just told us that's what they wanted done. They did not say to go rehash the whole question all over again. This is, it does fit our county's plan that we work with. And at the current time, when we made the original one, the town's plan was out of date. They have to be updated every 10 years, if I'm not mistaken, by law to be current. Neither of the courts said anything about that. And, you know, the town board had it 2 times to approve it back then. They approved it both times, and they did not send it back when we did approve it our final time. I mean, we gave them plenty of time. I don't see the, myself, I don't see the committee changing our mind on it. You can send it back, but I don't see where it's gonna do anything to progress the situation to the way the motion to table it is going. So that's my recommendations. Thank you.
My feeling after all these years is these people deserve a decision. Sending it back to us is just going to bring it back next month exactly the way it is now. And if there's any analogy that I can make here, and a simple one at this time of the year would be a football game. It's fourth quarter, there's 10 seconds left, a team is up by 30 points. And a group of fans, not the teams, a group of fans has now come up and said, we want to start the game over under new rules and move the goalposts. And I don't think that's moral or fair. And in the letter that you got from our attorney, may be illegal. So just so you're aware of that. Any other discussion? Mr. Paulson.
Yeah, Danielle, is it my understanding that they're trying to apply a comprehensive plan from 2022 when the original decision was made in 2021?
Based upon the correspondence received from Defend Town Plan's attorneys, their analysis relies on the 2022 comprehensive plan, which was adopted after this petition was filed. It's important to remember that when the court set this back, we did not start the process all over. We started where the Court of Appeals said a mistake was made. So we are required to judge this petition based upon the existing requirements at the time the petition was filed. That being the comprehensive plan that existed in November of 2021.
Thank you.
Any further discussion? All we're at right now is on the motion to table or to motion to postpone. Well, it's a motion to postpone and send it back to the zoning committee. See no more discussion? All in favor of that motion, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Aye. Aye. So we will continue with this. So now we take it to the question of whether to approve this or not. So I'll entertain a motion to approve.
I will so move to approve the motion for the rezone for the boathouse property as lit.
Second by Falker. Any further discussion? Mr. Christensen. Mr. Lund, you're next.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So my thoughts on this haven't changed really in the last few years. I think that this parcel is not necessarily unable to be farmed, which has been stated in the past. When I look at the 2015 aerial photographs, it looks like most of it was farmed. I think farmers are able to farm even small areas. So I think it's reasonable to consider this as viable agricultural prime land that should be kept for agricultural purposes. I think in the future, we are really going to be wishing we kept every bit of our agricultural lands. I think that that this is a farmland preservation area, and I don't see any relationship between a boat storage facility and farmland preservation. If it were something like a tractor tire repair shop or a seed sales business or something like that, or many of the other things that would be a part of the agricultural economy, my thoughts would be different. But I don't think this is appropriate for this use, and that's why I'm opposing it, and I'll vote no. Thank you.
Supervisor Lund and then Supervisor Zarling.
It's going to request a roll call vote.
Okay. Supervisor Zarling.
Yeah, just one thing, just to be clear, the town, after this vote, if it's voted yes, the town does still retain the ability to veto on their own after this, correct?
That's a question for our corporate counsel, and we're not.
So I think there's a bit of a gray area given the procedural posture of this case. Should the town wish to veto, I think it's possible that counsel for the boathouse would oppose that veto or indicate that they didn't legally have the right to veto based upon the passage of time. That's really not for our board to decide today. What we should be deciding is whether or not we believe this rezone complies with the statute and meets the statutory requirements. I wouldn't hang your hat on the ability of the veto.
Any other questions, discussion? Supervisor Hafton.
I just want to make sure that I'm understanding correctly that we're just going to be voting on the the boathouse.
You're just
Part
voting
of
on this one
this.
that, if you look at your sheet here, that it says, just this one, right here.
Just the top one.
The
So the
A1
other
to
ones are
A2.
not in question right now.
Then we'll go and vote on those next.
Thank you.
Supervisor Kennard.
I'll reiterate that I'm going to abstain from the boathouse one.
We understand. And he's abstaining from the fact that he was the surveyor on this particular property. Any other discussion? Seeing none, we'll take a roll call vote.
Supervisor Jones? Aye. Supervisor Richardson? Aye. Supervisor Herbst?
Aye.
We have 20 yes, 7 no, 1 abstain, and 2 absent.
The ordinance, for this portion of the ordinance passes. Second part, since we have the questions divided, is from A1 exclusive agricultural to A3 agricultural and rural residential, and from A3 agricultural and rural residential to A2 agricultural and rural business. Just to make a motion for this half. Before we take.
I will move to approve the rest of the ordinance that we did not vote on before.
A second from Supervisor Morris. Excuse me. This is strictly a voice vote. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none. The remainder of the ordinance passes. Takes us to appointment by the county board chair. I'll get to my sheet here. Appointments by the county board chair. By virtue of the authority vested in me under section 3.051C-D of the county board rules, I hereby request a confirmation of the following appointments. One of our own, Joan Fitzgerald, local state official and now assemblyman, to the Local Emergency Planning Committee, LEPC, for an indeterminate term. I ask you to confirm this appointment. Do I have a motion for that? Motion by Supervisor Degner, second by Supervisor Morris. Questions, discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, she is confirmed. Appointments by County Administrator, Mr. Lucky.
Yes, if it's all right with the chair, I would like to ask John Fox just to come up front for a second, say a few words.
Absolutely.
So Ryan Hayes, our first Director of Facility Management, left the county for an opportunity closer to home on December 13th, and since then we've been without a Director of Facilities Management at a very important time for the county when we're finishing up this massive courthouse renovation that is in the 99.9% stage of completion. We're undergoing energy audit to better understand how we can form a facilities management plan and look forward to the future for capital management. And as we undergo changes in fleet management and a number of things that we need a steady hand at. We had a very, very talented and widespread applicant pool come in December and January for interviews. John was selected by that pool of department heads, county board of supervisors, and other senior staff members as the best candidate to fill the position. And I think personally, I'm very excited to see the direction that John can take this as we consolidate services and continue to grow our capital management. So John, if there's a few words that you want to share to the committee so everyone can, or the board so everyone can understand a little better about your background.
Sure. So, thank you to the board members, to the selection committee that interviewed the candidates for this role. I'm a UW-Stoke graduate with a construction management Bachelor of Science degree, 20-year professional in facility planning and management functions. I currently reside in DeForest. My wife Stephanie and two daughters Taylor and Caitlin couldn't join us here today, but I do appreciate the support, the encouragement that they've provided me over the years. For the past 17 years, I've worked in various facility roles for a life science business in Madison, supporting their capital planning initiatives, their strategic facility planning, building maintenance, corporate real estate, security, and office management functions. I believe facility management is a critical component to the success of an organization's ability to execute and deliver on their mission, their goals, and objectives. I will do everything I can to lead the Jefferson County's facility team and deliver the work environment for staff and public-facing spaces that exceeds expectations and contributes to a satisfying experience for all. I look forward to partnering with the county board, the committee members, department leaders, and connecting with the Jefferson County community members and supporting all the staff that work diligently to ensure that peers and community members and everyone in between have a clean, safe work environment needed to continue the services that are provided. I'm really excited to take this step in this direction and look forward to starting on Monday.
Okay, with that then, by virtue of the authority vested in me under sections 59.182B of the Wisconsin statutes, I respectfully request confirmation of the following appointment: John Fox as Director of Facilities Management for an indeterminate term.
So moved by Mr. Brogler, second by Mr. Jaco. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none. Please take good care of our new building.
Do my best.
Thank you very much, Mr. Fox. Good luck. And appointment by the Human Services Board, Mr. Jones.
By virtue of the authority vested in the Human Service Board under sections 3.05 sub 1 sub J of the County Board rules, the Human Service Board hereby requests County Board confirmation of the following appointment: Mary Jo Shackelford to the Nutrition Project Council to fill a term ending November 13, 2027. I move for confirmation.
Yes, who was the second? Supervisor Lund was the second. Any questions, discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, the appointment is made. Public comment of a general nature. When I had the sheet up here last time, there was none on here of a general nature. So any announcements?
I have one, Mr. Chair.
Yes.
Timely, given we had a slight technology issue, but for everyone's knowledge, to try and better align our virtual meeting needs with how we operate and the systems we already have in place, and frankly to save some money as well, be good stewards of taxpayer dollars, we are looking at moving our committee meetings, not our county board meetings, but just our committee meetings, from the virtual options of Zoom to Microsoft Teams. What that will mean for all of you would mean a different link to click on. If you're going through your tablets, Teams is already pre-installed, so you shouldn't have to do anything if that's how you're logging in virtually to meetings. If you would be logging in from different devices, we can make sure that Teams is on there. This is not The decision has not been finalized yet, but it's something that we'd like to have before Zoom auto renews in March. Again, this would just be for committee meetings. We would maintain the webinar option for county board. Nothing would change for this meeting. I can happy to talk more about why we're deciding this and what it might mean, but this change, if made, would go into play after March 15th. So I wanted to give everyone a big heads up. And then as we work through any issues, we will be providing a lot more guidance as to how to make this operate.
Thank you. Any other announcements? No announcements from the fair or anything this time? No, okay. All right, excellent. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. So moved by Mr. Jekyll, second by Ms. Turnbull Heights. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, we're adjourned.